Is a Donovan Mitchell trade done? That's what a Utah radio station is saying. We're going to break all that down in today's show. But first, Knicks fans, I want you to light up the comment section. If you hate Richard Jefferson, type F Richard in the comment section. He was saying Julius Randle won Sixth Man of the Year when the Knicks were 4th seeded in the East, and he tripled down. Thing is, he's an idiot. He's a clown. I hate him. You hate him. Type F Richard in the comments right now. Today's Knicks Now video is sponsored by Mint Mobile. They're offering plans with unlimited talk and unlimited texting for as low as $15 per month. You can get started by going to mintmobile.com/chatsports. You might have heard of them before. They're owned by Ryan Reynolds, the famous actor. We'll tell you more about them later on in today's show. But today's show, the rumors are going crazy around Donovan Mitchell at this point. You got to take everything with a grain of salt. The latest report is coming from a Utah radio station. His name is Patrick Kinahan. He has 16,000 followers on Twitter. He's supposedly the #1 radio drive morning show in Utah. He said the Jazz have agreed upon a deal to trade Mitchell, but that deal is not done. He didn't mention a team. I'm going to go with the idea that the Knicks are the team being mentioned, but this is the tweet that started all of this. This comes from Jacob Hatch. Honestly, he sounds like he was just a listener. So we're trying to piece all this together. It's a really fluid situation. He said, my guy Patrick said on the Zone Sportsnet, which is that Utah radio show, that he's hearing from a source close to Danny Ainge that the Utah Jazz have agreed upon a deal to trade Donovan Mitchell, but that deal is not done. This was his exact quote on the show. He said, I've been receiving texts as we speak that the Donovan Mitchell deal is done. It is agreed upon. They are working out some final details to have it be announced here shortly. And quote, it is a haul. If a deal between Donovan Mitchell going to the New York Knicks from Salt Lake City to Madison Square Garden, the mecca of basketball, man, oh man, is it going to be fun on this channel. But this all started this morning when Donovan Mitchell tweeted this out. He said, man, God is good. And then an hour later, the stuff came out that a deal is done. Did Danny Ainge tell Donovan Mitchell that we're going to trade you? We're going to do it. Because Donovan didn't request a trade. The Jazz started to shop him after they traded Rudy Gobert. So is Donovan Mitchell just happy and excited that he's being traded? I actually quote tweeted this tweet and said, God is better if you're a New York Knicks fan. And unfortunately, that might not actually be true. I want it to be true. But Jazz Nation, they're one of the biggest Jazz Twitter accounts. They have like 20,000 followers. They were talking about this Patrick Kinahan guy and how credible he is. And he said, I mean, PK has been around Salt Lake City scene for many years now. So I do believe he does have sources. But he is also a sports radio broadcaster. So he gets paid to just talk and talk. And slow times now in Utah sports news. So yeah, and then Kyler, he's a Jazz fan. He's been all over Nick's Twitter space. He said, this particular radio guy doesn't break news, but he is very connected to the organization. Listening to him, it seemed like he slipped up and backtracked because he realized he should not have said it. This guy has never been a newsbreaker, leading me to believe it's credible. If a guy that doesn't break news is now breaking news, you got to think it could go either way. Is he just going for clicks? Is he going for listens? Or does he actually have the information? And he did kind of backtrack it a little bit. I'm not sure if he was the guy that was supposed to break the news, but it's out there. According to Patrick Kinahan, a Donovan Mitchell trade is done. And if you just want all this to be over with, if you want a Donovan Mitchell trade to the New York Knicks to have already happened, I just want you to type 45 in the comment section right now. The number of Donovan Mitchell. My producer, he's a big-time Knicks fan. He's happy right now. Shout out Jeremy Chuggs. He's actually wearing a Knicks jersey right now. Wish we could get him on screen. But if you want a Donovan Mitchell trade to happen, I want you to just type 45 in the comments right now. Like we said at the top of the show, today's show is sponsored by Mint Mobile. That you can get started with an unlimited talk and text plan, high-speed data, mobile hotspots with plans starting at just $15 per month. Inflation sucks, but Mint Mobile is going to help you save money on the largest 5G network out there. And the thing that I love about it the most is you get to keep your same phone. You get to keep your same phone number. You don't got to go to the store and talk to the weird guy, Craig, at the register. You can change all over from the comfortability of your house in as little as 15 minutes. But you can get started today, mintmobile.com/chatsports. I'll put the link to that in the comments and description of the video. Save yourself a buck or two because gas is way too high thanks to you-know-who. mintmobile.com/chatsports. I want everybody to take this report with a little bit of grain of salt. Because as I check Twitter right now, it doesn't seem like Ian Begley or Fred Katz or anybody has followed this report saying it's true or not true. And that kind of stands out to me. The fact that nobody can debunk it makes me feel like it might be a little bit true. But as we know, every report so far has said the Utah Jazz are in no rush. But if you've been a watcher of the show, you know I've been calling BS on that for a while. They are on a timeline. They do not want to enter training camp with Donovan Mitchell on their roster. The trade seems inevitable at this point. Mark Stein has said it. Brian Windhorst said inevitability that it's going to happen. Every big-time J out there, shout out to Snoop and Wiz, but they said that a trade is going to happen, and it sounds like it is, and it's going to be awesome. Donovan Mitchell and the Mecca wearing the blue and the orange, and I'll tell you this, when a trade happens, we'll actually be the first video up on YouTube breaking it down. And I promise it is going to be a party. My producer, Jeremy Chuggs, is going to be on the show with me. We're going to be reliving the glory days of the New York Knicks, throwing back shots, having a party, celebrating Donovan Mitchell to Madison Square Garden. He is pumped up right now, man. It is awesome. YouTube.com/KnicksTV. But I do have this question. Hit that big red button. We're trying to get to 11K subs. But we'll talk more about this in a second. I'll give you some more thoughts I have. But I want to ask this question. Does the Mitchell trade happen? I want you to rub your crystal ball, be a genie. Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let me know if a Donovan Mitchell trade happens. We've been talking about leverage on this show a lot. And this report seems like a desperate leverage play by the Utah Jazz. They linked this to Patrick Kinahan, some Utah radio host. But the reason I believe the Jazz have no leverage is Mitchell did not request a trade. If he did, then the leverage wouldn't be a talk. But they have been shopping him. They don't want him on the team. They want to lose games. The Utah Jazz are tanking. And if you're tanking, why on earth would you want Donovan Mitchell on this team? Donovan Mitchell is going to guarantee you 30 to 35 wins if he's on your roster. And your best asset right now is your own first-round pick. And the best way to improve that asset is by losing games and trying to move up in the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. There's a great draft coming up in 2023. And if your best asset is your first-round pick, but you're going to keep Donovan Mitchell into the season, that doesn't really make a whole bunch of sense to me. You want to tank. You want to lose games. You don't want Mitchell on this team winning you games. You damn sure don't want him on the team in training camp because you have a new head coach, someone that's never been a head coach before. And you're telling me he's going to enter his first training camp with a disgruntled superstar that has trade rumors circulating around him all summer long, especially when he didn't request a trade? You've just been shopping him because you got a haul for Rudy Gobert and you thought you could get the same for Donovan Mitchell. The Jazz have no leverage, and it ends up with this. This is why they have no leverage. The Knicks have what the Jazz want. The Jazz want picks, they want expiring deals, and they want cheap young players. And nobody can present a more competitive trade offer sheet to Danny Ainge and the Utah Jazz than the Knicks can and Leon Rose. The package the Knicks can offer is the best. 8 tradable first-round picks in the next 7 years. They have expiring money, $14 million in Derrick Rose, $5 million in Cam Reddish. You can give up 2 of the 3 when it comes to Quentin Grimes, Emmanuel Quickley, and Obi Toppin. If Danny Ainge is truly set on making a deal get done, the best return he can get is from the New York Knicks. I believe a trade will happen, and that's why the real ones watch this video. Trade's going to happen. We got to just agree on it at this point. Whether it's today or whether it's next week, a day before training camp, or the day of training camp opening up in September, I believe a Donovan Mitchell trade is going to happen. If you do, if you made it this far in the video, type real one in the comments section because the real ones always finish the videos. And also hit me up on Twitter. Give me a follow at @MarshallGreen_. A lot of you guys have been following me on Twitter. It's been awesome. We've been chopping it up about the Knicks. I'm down to talk hoops all day long. Give me a follow, and I'll make sure to give everybody a follow back that follows me from today's show. Just mention me or DM me saying, yo, Marsh, I came from the new Donovan Mitchell trade.